Okay, well, hey neighbors, welcome to the Shed Shop. In this episode of Don, the Don 1K chainsaw lot story. Listen, neighbors, I need to sit down because I'm pissed off. Here's one of the 044 crankcases I got in that lot. Remember, guys, we paid $1,000 for that. If this is your first video you're clicking on, why is my timer on the side? This shit's gonna be sideways, and I'm gonna have to rotate it. Watch, probably. Anyways, this 200T over here had no top handle on it. It had no carburetor on it. So you had no throttle lever, no choke lever. Let's see what else. It has no clutch cover. The sprocket is bad. I paid $300 for this saw. And the guy told me, Don told me, it ran. And I had spoken to my uncle about halfway through, 3/4 way through, making this deal with him on the stuff we got. And I said, Uncle, he said that saw ran, but it has no top handle. I don't see how he would have even held that saw to pull the cord. I mean, I guess you could hold it down on the floor and pull the cord, probably, but it doesn't make sense to me. And so I asked Don and I explained that to him, and he says, well, I said, so how'd you start it? He said, I poured gas into the intake boot and pulled the cord. And I said, okay, well, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Well, neighbors, I'm going to show you what it looks like. I feel I got done dirty. Whether I make my money back and triple my money or not on all the parts, it's going to be dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens hours of work. And much of the stuff I have is stuff that's going to be very hard to sell because there's dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of them listed on eBay already. And so taking an hour to clean something, well, disassemble it, clean it. For example, our 1127s, most of it was just a chassis and motor. I was supposed to get all kinds of plastics in this deal. And every time, I'm going to keep telling you guys, I'd go to a table. It had 18 air filter covers and top covers on it. A lot of 026, some 036, 034s. And I said, is anything on this table for sale? And he said, everything's for sale. And so I said, all right, well, I'll take that whole table in my lot. And then he said, well, I need to keep this, and I need to keep this. 17 of the fucking 18 he kept. I got one 028 air filter cover, one. And so I go to another area, and I said, is any of this for sale? There was an 044 top cover and an 034 top cover, a few other top covers, and some miscellaneous little things. And he said, everything's for sale. And I said, okay, well, how much for this little area right here? And he says, well, I need to keep this and I need to keep this. And so nothing there was for sale, even though I just got told everything was for sale. I just messaged this guy about the 200T being roached, and I want to see what he says. I want to see if he does me right and gives me some fucking money back or gives me some more parts. I have 18 bins here that when he sent me pictures of everything that was for sale, the reason I drove 3 hours is because he had a lot of the stuff I needed to complete these 18 saws right here. Because I don't want to buy the shit on eBay. It's too expensive right now. I need to buy all this stuff in the lot, or I need to have the parts come when I buy other stuff and just have that one part as it just was in with other stuff that I bought. Or I need to buy partial saws of the same models that have the parts I need to complete these projects. And now I have these 18 bins just gonna keep sitting here, neighbors. They're gonna fucking keep sitting here. Would you like to see my 200T that I paid $300 for, that this guy says it ran? Now, I'm not going to say it didn't run, it's not possible, because I've seen saws that look like this run. But are they going to cut? Hell no. Are they going to run for very long? Hell no. So, let me show you, neighbors. Here's our 200T. This is all we got for 300 bucks, okay? And there's no fucking way I can make 300 out of this. There's no way. There's no way. Not after eBay fees and shit. There's no way, dude. Here's our piston. And it's not just, I mean, this is fucking rugged, dude. And it's not just the exhaust side. It's the intake side, too. It's all scored all the way down, neighbors. And really bad right there. And what's worse, look how bad our fucking cylinder looks, neighbors. Look at that shit. Okay? Trying to get you good light. Damn it. Well, let's try this. I can't never get fucking good angles on this shit. Let's see. There you go. That's semi-okay. Well, what if we do that? There you go. You see it? Look how bad it is, you guys. All of that. And it's not just the exhaust side. The fucking intake side has transfer on it too. Right here, there's transfer on the intake side. From right here. Okay? This guy runs 5 Facebook groups. And I list shit for sale in his groups. But I'm the type of guy. Listen, if I sold that saw running to somebody in a lot like this and they spent $1,000 fucking dollars with me and said that they want to do business with me in the future, because my thing was, I thought there was an extra 034 cover, one 034 cover, because I only got one 034 cover out of him. I needed a nice 034 cover, and when he wouldn't come off $1,000 for the stuff, I said, well, I'll tell you what, just if you'll throw in a nice 034 AV top cover, then I'll give you the $1,000. And I knew I was overpaying. I just fucking knew it, you guys. I did myself dirty. More than anything, I did myself dirty because I knew he was doing me dirty during the hour and a half or 2 hours I was there. I knew, and my uncle even said he was doing me dirty. My uncle even said there was just red flags. You know, he started real cheap, giving me all kinds of 1123 stuff for $100. And then real cheap on the 1127 stuff, which most of the motors were scored, which I knew though, because they either had the plugs out or there was no mufflers on them. And you know, even looking at it as a parts perspective, not building any saws out of this lot, it's going to be hella hard to make $1,000 selling these parts. I'm telling you, because there's so many of them on eBay. Everything I wanted, like the 044 tanks, he wouldn't sell me any of the good 044 tanks, even though I was told they were for sale when I walked in the building. So many things that I was like, well, I want that. Oh, I need to keep that. You just said it's all for sale. There's like 55 saws on the floor and like 100 different various tanks and parts and shit. And everything I go after just about, oh, it's not for sale. So I said, okay, well, fine. The 200T was in that building. I said, how much for the 200T? He said $300. And on a 200T, neighbors, I mean, I couldn't see a whole lot through the intake boot. I should have seen that. I should have turned that motor over and looked very closely. But it's not often you get scoring on the intake side. The crankshaft seal on the flywheel side has no dust lip left on it. So that massive air leak is what caused this jet. It's frustrating, neighbors, but I told you I'm going to let you go on the whole journey, even if it takes 2 years of the Don 1K chainsaw lot. $1,000. That's the most I've spent in 2 years at one time on chainsaws or chainsaw parts. $1,000 fucking dollars, neighbors. And so, I don't know that I have anything else to say. I'm just very curious to see if he messages me back, because I messaged him last night and I said, Don, I said, I think I have some stuff that wasn't supposed to be included. I said, you only gave me one 034 top cover and I found a second one. And then on the 192, 193Ts, even though initially it was supposed to be all 3 saws included, he dropped it down to 1. And then he threw in 1 partial roached 019T, I think it is. And I had 2 of the 192Ts and a partial. But I didn't load hardly any of this stuff in the truck. Don did a large part of it. As soon as we made the deal and I gave him cash. And here's the other thing. He was just throwing this shit in buckets or bins and then dumping it in the back of my pickup. Well, shit breaks that way. I just paid you $1,000 for this shit and you're tossing it around. I wanted to load my pickup truck my OCD way. I wanted my 1123 stuff in a specific area, and then all the covers and stuff I wanted to put in a specific area so there was no chance of them flying out. And he was just dumping shit. Before I even could walk over to the truck with one saw, he had already taken like 10 saws, and they're all partials just about, and like 2 big bins. The bin was probably 3 feet wide, a blue bin, and probably 3 feet deep. And he was filling it with all my Chet recoils and the 1127 chassis with motors, and just dumping it all in a pile, dude, in my pickup truck. And I didn't say nothing. I should have, you know. But I told the guy, if this stuff wasn't supposed to be included, if you didn't put that in there intentionally, or me or my uncle accidentally grabbed this stuff and it wasn't ours, I said, neighbor, please tell me right away. I'm an honest guy, and I don't want to keep stuff that wasn't mine. And I said, I'll put it in a box and ship it to you at my expense immediately. And he messaged me this morning and said, you're all good. You can keep everything. All is well. Well, right now, all is not well with me, you guys. Not even close. Not even fucking close. This 200T was supposed to be. I grabbed my 200T parts to complete this bitch. But I always, you guys know me. There was no way in hell I wasn't freaking just putting a top handle and carburetor and shit on this saw without tearing it down and checking ring gap and checking my piston and measuring my bore and doing a base gasket delete and porting a muffler. I've been up for, let's see, 7 a.m. this morning was 48 hours, and now it's 4:35, so 3 p.m. would have been another 8 hours, 56 hours. I've been up for 57 hours and 36 minutes, and aside from the drive time, 3 hours each way, I've been working non-stop. And I got my uncle, who paid for half of this shit, and we're starting him at eBay, sleeping. He's been sleeping for 13 hours. He's got to work tonight, but my thing is, he was off yesterday, and he went to bed at like 3 a.m., and he's supposed to help me with this shit today. But I'll guarantee you he don't get up until 8 p.m. And if he does get up, he'll go put his headphones on, sit in his recliner, kick his feet up, and watch TV. Guarantee it. See? I'll start telling you guys my uncle's doing good and helping and doing a lot better. He still does a hella shitty in a lot of areas and needs massive improvement, but that he's doing better. And I always tell you guys, I don't like saying it because it bites me in the ass, and he reverts back to the old shitty, selfish, inconsiderate, unthoughtful him. You know how long it took me to get him to fucking get the truck insurance set up? Like 6 months we've been driving that fucking truck without insurance. Allegedly, neighbors. That's just allegedly. That's just a hypothetical scenario, just so you know. But anyways, I can't remember everything. Look how fucking tired I am, you guys. Because I'm a one-man fucking rodeo. My neck is in agonizing pain. Even moving it right now, it's just every movement. My arm like that just jolts my neck pain. You know, it's just, So, the highs and lows of this lot, I'm going to show you guys. And I hope you watch it, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you understand, and I hope you can relate. That's why I'm doing it. This is embarrassing, you know, right now. I'll watch this video, and I'll be like, oh, I can't put that shit on the internet. And then I'll battle with myself for days on end, and then I'll either delete it, leave it on the phone, and keep battling, or post it. We'll see what the fuck happens. But let me think if there's anything else. My 044 slant fin. You know, it was supposed to be a good cylinder. Okay. Oh, I looked in it. It's good. Yeah, both sides are good. It has a little bit of stuff, a little bit of discoloration on the piston, but it's good. Would you like to see? I already showed you this once. But would you like to see my 044? I knew I should have turned the goddamn camera on when I tore this this 200T apart, but Grady was here and I was trying to help him, so he set me behind. Let's see, right? You guys can't fucking see it. This goddamn camera. Right there, see? Oh, now we know how to get in cylinders. Right there. We just gotta put the camera right in the fucking saw right there. Look at that gouge. Slant fin 044. That's a fucking paperweight now. It's a practice cylinder to port. That's it. That's it, neighbor. That's it. That's what I'm dealing with. The 200T was going to be my last project today. I was going to clean it up and take the parts that I needed and build the 200T, because I was going to list it cheaper than I normally sell my 200Ts. I've sold like 4 200Ts this year. One of them was to Ace the Arborist, power head only, and that only had like 3 hours on it, but I still went all the way through it, did a base gasket delete, ported the muffler, and he paid me $1,100 for that saw. And he's like, I'd have paid you $1,500. I said, I know you would have. I says, but I'm happy with $1,100. That's hella good. Okay, I'm in Tennessee. Saws go for a little bit more here than they do out in the Northeast and the Northwest, because there's a lot more wood cutting up there, so there's a lot more saws being sold, and they're cheaper, you know. And then let's see, where was I going with that? I was going to tell you guys something else. Oh, the next 200T I sold, a guy messaged me. I put it on eBay and I put it for $1,099 or best offer, and that's because after the fees I probably would have made $550, okay, after fees and shipping. And a guy messaged me, and he had been wanting to buy a 200T, but he was afraid to invest the money and get done dirty. Okay, so he says, you know, I was reading your ads and I was looking at your feedback and this and that, and he says, I feel safe paying you a high price. He says, I'd like to make you an offer on the 200T. And basically I told him, well, neighbor, here's the deal. I gave him a picture of my business card. I says, if you give me your offer this way, I can do a better price. And a lot of people will offer me $300 for a running, fully gone through, refurbished, warranted steel MS200T with a brand new 16-inch steel bar and chain on it. And that's insulting to me. I'm sorry, it just is. You know, I paid more than that for the fucking saw in the first place, non-running. And he sent me an email and he offered me $975 for this saw, and he was going to pay the shipping, and he was going to pay the 4% credit card fee. I told him, I said, I'll tell you what, neighbor. I said, you're the first person that's given me a fair offer on that saw. I says, I'm going to do it for $925, and that's going to include your shipping. It's going to include your 4% fee, and I threw in a bunch of extra stuff for him, extra tune-up stuff, extra air filters, extra fuel filters, an extra chain, I think, as well. And I threw in some files and a 90-degree file to maintain his bar, and an extra sprocket. And then my next 200T, I sold 14-inch, $950 local. And then my next 200T, it was not as pretty as the other ones, but it had brand new rings in it, and it was a good looking saw, you know. I sold that one for $750, power head only. That's the 4 I've sold this year. So I told my uncle, I said, I got a lot of brand new 200T parts. I said, I'm gonna take those and put them on this. I'm gonna take the parts I need off of this one and put them on mine, because I needed the crankcase mainly. But I didn't want to have to put my motor on this. I expected this to have a good motor, because I have a busted, the coil bolt snapped, and during my extraction, my carbide bit snapped, and this much of it is in the hole where the coil bolt is supposed to be retapped, and I can't get it out. And you can't drill through those carbide bits. You just can't. There's no bit I can buy that drills through that shit. So essentially, I needed the flywheel side crankcase half. But I'm not going to split a case. I'm going to keep this one together. That being said, and I told my uncle, I says, I'm just going to list this shit for $750, see if I get any bites. And if in the first 48 hours I don't, I'm going to drop it $100. I said, because we just spent $1,000. So if I can make $650, and even if I don't make profit on that particular saw, at least we recoup more than 50% of the money we just spent. Now it's not going to happen, neighbors. So we were really high last night during the live event. You guys were doing super chats. Everybody was active and great, and just enjoying ourselves and talking to each other in the comments. And I love that shit when you guys chat in the comments to each other, because I don't like to be the center of attention. It makes me feel awkward. I don't like when everybody's just talking to me. But that being said, now we're at a low. You know, it's been highs and lows. Right here was kind of some highs, because most of the 1127 shit, we were using his DeWalt flashlight, and this shit was outside. Most of it looked roached. However, I have a good 390 top end that I got out of those saws, and I didn't expect any good top ends. And I also have, I believe, a 290 top end that's good, okay? All of those need new bearings because they were full of water. But I have 2 top ends that I didn't expect, so that was a high. Anyways, right now we're low. Here's all the 1123 stuff that I got for $100. However, you guys, I have almost no air filter covers. I have 1 good rear handle. The rest are broken. I have some chain brake handles, but those go for really cheap on eBay, and there's so many of them. That being said, I just wasted 20 minutes talking when I should be working. When I'm this goddamn motherfucking tired, I yap, and I probably don't even make no sense. I'm exhausted, you guys. Look at me. I see it in my face. But I have no choice. Once I stop, I'm going to be out of commission for probably a week. And I might be out of commission so bad that I can't help fucking list parts if he actually fucking is willing to, like he's supposed to. Did myself dirty, neighbors. And I put myself in a bad financial spot because I entrusted my uncle to keep his word and help me with this shit. Okay? And instead of putting that $1,000 toward my credit card bills, I just paid a little bit on my credit cards. And then I fucked up on my credit cards today too, actually. So I have my Chase that's due on the 7th, and my Mercury that's due on the 8th, and then I have my eBay due on the 11th, and I have my there's one more that's due on the 11th, and my uncle doesn't get paid again until the 13th, and I have to assume I'm not going to make any money before then. I have to assume it. So I pay off my statement balances anytime I can. And if I can't pay them all off, I will pay off whatever statement balances I can. Well, on my eBay, I only owed, oh, that's the other one, dude, my eBay MasterCard. So I paid $328 and some change on that. And then I paid $175 on my Mercury. And then I had a $56 Affirm payment that needs to come out still today. And it hadn't come out yet. And I fucked myself because I didn't pay my Chase card. And I had no money left because I was only going to have $28 in the bank. And so I had to go into my closet, and I had exactly $100.39 in change. And I had to take $100.39 in change that I've accumulated over the past 2 years and put it in the bank so I could pay something on my Chase card, which is my Amazon card, which I usually pay a big chunk on that because I only have a $1,000 limit. And I buy a lot of shit for this shop on Amazon. All my cleaning supplies, files, brushes, just all kinds of shit comes from Amazon. So anyways, neighbors, I don't remember what number video this is, and I really wish Grady wasn't here in a way when I took that apart, because it's not on fucking camera. But Grady was here with his little Tanica chainsaw he was having issues with. And I just worked on that chip for free for like 30 minutes, stopped what I was doing and helped him out. So right now we're low. Let's see if we get high again. I'll try to get a thumbnail or something, or the description. I'll have to see what number video this is, but I'm exhausted, you guys. I hope somebody besides Ted watched this all the way through, and maybe Rob, and maybe Jimbus, maybe. Okay, so until next time, neighbors, be kind to one another. Everyone's facing a battle. My battle right now is I'm in agonizing pain to where I just don't even I just want to go to sleep standing up right here. And my 200T has a Roach motor, and I messaged Don over 30 minutes ago and he has not responded. That's my battle right now, neighbors. And my uncle's doing me hella dirty. So that's why I say be kind to one another. I love all you neighbors, even though I really do suck at it. You only fail if you quit though, right? So hashtag persevere. We're just going to keep persevering and keep driving somehow. Another 5-hour energy will maybe get me enough to where I can at least finish taking this 200T apart and put it in a fucking bin. Love you guys.